lawful wedded husband.
To be my...
Bertine. Not Bertine's heart. With a tramp like you?
Well, I know it hurts being third rate, but aren't you accustomed to it yet?
Oh, Robin, I see you. I myself the slut of Springfield!
Son of a bitch in heat.
I found out myself what love is all about.
Hey everybody, it's me, Nikki. It's your favorite cousin, and we are here talking about General Hospital. So check this out. Trina is a little upset, because it's her birthday, and they had a little party for her down to the gallery. And, everyone was there except for her cousin TJ. Where exactly is TJ? We don't know. Did y'all fire that man? Be honest with me. I feel like y'all probably fired that man. And, Jocelyn is over there doing her WSB agent training, so she's not there either. But she sent her gift anyway. And Emma gave Trina this art book, and it's the same art book that Spencer had gave Trina. So, she feeling some type of way. So, she was having a good time, but she ended up sneaking out because our girl is having, Sabbath hours. Somebody go hug Trina. Somebody. Christina then found out that Sonny is having heart problems. Why? Because Isaiah stopped by there, and Christina nosy ass is like, "What you doing here?" Questioning him. It's like, why are you questioning? You don't live here. Why are you questioning this man? Christina, get a life. Stop questioning him. You're doing what too much at this point in time, okay? You're doing absolutely positively too much, Christina. Too much, Christina. Christina. You're doing too much. But Sonny tells her he has heart problems. Now this is going to be a big ass thing, and it's just like, child, she gonna feel like I need to take over the business. I need to be there for the children. I need to do this. I need to do that. Ugh. But like I told y'all, Christina do the absolute most. But as we move on, Jason and Anna save the day. They done got little baby Charlotte back home. Valentine is popping up, trying to break into people's houses, trying to get his stuff. Shout out to Will Cortland. Shout out to him. But yeah, Lulu got Charlotte home, and everybody just so happy. Laura's like, "Oh, my granddaughter's back. Yay! She's back. Yay! We love it." It's time for Lulu to find a place of her own, a real place to live. So her kids can have a what? A home. When I think of home, I think of a place where Lulu has an actual house with an actual job and she can take care of her kids. Unfortunately, when you think about this situation, she's going to want to snatch Rocco up out of the Quartermains. And Jason and Dante are doing such a great job co-parenting right now. Why would you go and ruin something like that? But also, Lulu living in a Quartermain mansion probably would not work out because her and Brooklyn cannot stand each other, and she's holding that secret over Brooklyn's head is how I feel like the situation is. Like I told y'all, Valentine is peeping and sneaking around corners and winds up poisoning Carly because Carly done went down to the hotel room with Brennan, and they having a good old time, and they having champagne, okay? Champagne, aka champagne. I can be cultured. And he had slipped some poison or something in the champagne, and he was aiming for Brennan, but Carly ended up, throwing it back like a shot, and it's just like, oh girl, somebody get my girl up off the floor. Go get my girl off the floor. Go get my girl off the floor. And then Brooklyn is dealing with her mama and her grandma, basically telling her, leave that child alone. Don't think about that child. Don't ever go look for that child. That child is not yours. He was raised correctly by some other people. Leave the kid alone. All the while knowing that that child is living in the house with her, and said child is who? Geo. But it's messy as hell. Did I mention that Tracy isn't going to jail? She not. She didn't end up going to jail. But Drusive, aka Shiloh, is, I'm gonna make her life a living hell. I'm gonna do everything to hurt her. And Willow's old stupid ass is just going along with it because she's dumb as a box of rocks. Like I told y'all, our girl, she drank that damn champagne. She on the floor. She done collapsed. Brennan had to get her to the hospital. Oh, plutonium, whatever it is. She's been poisoned. It's Valentine's fault. And he's sneaking around his old house trying to get his passports because he tried to get out the country, honey. And, Sonny held him up at, a rat-a-tat-tat point, okay? and read him for filth. Okay? He, held him at a rat-a-tat-tat, and he confronted him, and he was like, "You don't realize what you put me through. You don't realize what you put me through." And just start going in on him. So then Valentine reveals who was behind the kaboom in the penthouse. And it was like, okay, so you revealed who's behind the kaboom. That's great. That's great. So Sonny, let that man go. He called Laura and everything, but he also calls Brick and tells him, I need you to track down X, Y, and Z. I need you to come track down X, Y, and Z for me because we got to go handle, that because he was behind the kaboom. And, Dante shows up and he like, what you doing here? And he's like, I need to talk. So he starts venting about Lulu. But then that gets interrupted because Brennan calls Sonny to tell Sonny uh, that Valentine's back in town and that, Carly is at GH. So all roads lead to Carly being at GH, right? So Brooklyn finally tells Chase about Dante being the father. After the conversation with her mother and grandmother, she finally, tells him, Dante's the father, and I don't want you to tell him. And they have this long, drawn out conversation, but eventually he agrees what not to tell. That's what he agrees to, which, I can't be mad at, but it's going to get really hard since him and Dante are such good friends. So at some point in time, he roll up on Lulu like she in a training bra and tells her, as in warns her, as in he's doing absolutely too much. Hey, you need to leave my wife alone. You need to stop threatening my wife. Don't tell Dante about Brooklyn's baby. Okay? I don't care how defensive you get. I will arrest you for breaking and entering if you do anything that I just mentioned. Leave my wife alone. Keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth. That's basically what type of time he on. And I was like, okay, a little too much dip on your chip. Okay, it's a little extra. Okay, this is not the Chase we used to. But you know what, Chase? Good for you. You put your nuts on the table. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Won't he do it? Maybe don't threaten that lady because she gonna try to figure out somehow, some way to I'ma get you back. I gotta see it through. I gotta get you back. It's the last thing I do. Okay, Lulu's that type of person. But also, Brooklyn is having an issue because she's trying to figure out, is she the one who actually decided to give up her baby when she was 15 years old and not tell Dante, or was that all her mother and her grandmother's, talking points in there doing? At this point, she don't want to talk to her mama. She don't want to see her mama. She about done with the whole entire family. So basically, what had happened was Lois went back to Bensonhurst as well, and it's just like, oh, that's so sad. ¿Por qué? ¿Cómo se dice why? Poor baby. Poor baby. It's so sad. Anyway, Kai, because I told y'all, Trina had let her party. So Kai come over there to see her, and it's just like, listen, I got your birthday gifts. I want to talk to you. So this is where she finally tells him about Spencer. And it's like, he's understanding. He gets it. We love this for Trina. She's finally moving on. I'm still mad that y'all got rid of Spencer and their love story. I didn't want y'all to recast because I felt like the actors who played Trina and Spencer went so well together. I didn't want y'all to do that. But I was like, oh, she finally found someone she could communicate to. And maybe if she's telling him about Spencer and just breaking down their love story, that maybe this is her heart and her mind and her body and her spirit saying, okay, it's okay for us to move on. So maybe that's what it is. Child, meantime, in between time, Martin then got caught up, okay? He done got caught up. Anna popped down there with a federal agent. And it's like, what you doing here? Down to Laura's house. Oh, I'm here to arrest you for unpaid alimony. Who is this unpaid alimony to? Some lady in California who wants her mother money. And I did a collaboration with Albert, and we someone in the chat said maybe the person who wants the money and the person he was married to was Sky. And I was like, that would make so much sense because Sky about her money. So Tracy was like, I was willing to, work with you, do X, Y, and Z with you to get all these situations figured out. But you didn't want to do it. And Laura is trying to talk to Tracy, trying to calm the situation down. And she almost got Tracy to be like, you know what, forget about it. And then Martin talked himself into getting arrested. And it's just like, oh, well, your fault. Your fault. Your fault. That's your fault. Oh, that's your fault. Bye, Martin. We'll miss you for however long you're going to be gone. I hope you got that money for that lady because the people in California don't play about their alimony. So, like I said, all roads lead back to Carly being up in the hospital, because she was poisoned with the petroleum, right? So, Anna had to call Robin to get the cure. And as Anna's calling Robin and she gets done with that, she goes to call Jason to inform him that Carly in the hospital. But Jason, he preoccupied because Sasha, when he got back to the house after they went to save little baby Charlotte, was like, I need to have a conversation with you about this baby. She's now finally willing to accept his help. And I was like, you're finally willing to accept his help after you accepted Sidwell's help or that $250,000 he was willing to give you to keep you from talking to the rest of the women at Deception. Sasha, you on my last nerves. You're on my last nerve. You are. You are. Figure it out and figure it out quick before this all blows up in your face. Figure it out quick before this all blows up in your face. Like I said, Lulu was going to have an issue with this whole wanting the kids to move in with her in whatever new place she got. Why? Because Dante and Jason and Rocco and Danny have this co-parenting situation worked out. And why would you want to snatch Rocco up out of his safe space, his comfort zone, a space where he just lost one mother? Now another mother wants to come back and throw his life into a whirlwind. No, man, we don't do that around here. And Dante, well, he a little pissed off. That's what sent him over there venting to Sonny about Lulu. And at this point in time, I can't really care because Lulu, you're doing absolutely what? Too motherfucking much. Understand that you're a mother. Understand you want your children to be with you. But you've been gone for a long time. And everybody has all this stuff set up. It is okay for y'all to live separately, especially when it's what's best for the children. At this time, Lulu has not been really thinking what's best for the kids. She's been thinking about how to get back everything she lost for those, 4 years, 6 years, 5 years she was gone. It was a while. A while, Brian. A while. And like I told y'all, the reason why Jocelyn went down at the birthday party is because she down there for WSB training. And the guy training her had to basically let her know that your life is never going to be the same once you become an agent. So I hope you're ready. And don't try to back out of it because you basically have no options. Your options to back out went out the window when you decided to try to frame your Uncle Jason with the help of Brennan. Just saying. But we move on because Uncle Lucas is down there in Miami with a nice shirtless, cute little lawyer, a little attorney, and he a little shirtless, the man a little shirtless, but Marco, the cute little attorney that he met down there in the Miami, okay, Miami 305. He had to basically tell him, no, baby, we didn't do nothing, okay. You got sick, but we didn't do anything. And why didn't we do anything? Because consent is key. Consent is a factor. Consent is sexy. It's all about what? Consent. It is. So when Marco, after their little conversation, leave the room, here come Brad. And it's just like, what is man walking out my man's room? I don't like this. Because y'all know Brad want him some Lucas back. Okay, he want Lucas. He need Lucas back in his life. Now, I had told y'all, Valentine out here skulking around people's homes, breaking and entering. He tried to break into Laura's, penthouse. And that didn't work because she caught him and she was trying to convince him to turn himself in. But I'm not turning myself in because no, ma'am, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going on the run. Okay, Laura? Don't care what you're doing. I'm going to go on a run. However, this kind of, halted. This kind of stopped because why Brennan popped up on him like, clack, clack, rat-a-tat-tat. A rat-a-tat-tat. So, Sonny had a conversation. Listen, Sonny also had a conversation with Anna and found out that Valentine down there, about to get a rat-a-tat-tat by Brennan, and she got to run to save him. And then also Jason is running to save or catch Valentine because, he shouldn't have let him go the first time. So this is also messy as hell, right? So damn messy. Anyway, Nina basically told Willow, listen, in order to save you from having big problems and Port Charles when it comes to your custody situation, especially because you're still married, and this is possibly going to cause a big issue between you and Michael if you move your children into a house with Drew, I will buy you a house. This is her way of keeping Willow away from Drew. And it's just like it's not gonna work because he's gonna try to move his stinking ass up in there with her and them children too. Because he's trying to play new daddy. And it's just like, no ma'am, that's not how this works. But we're gonna figure out how this works out because I don't think it's gonna work out how Nina wants it to work out. And oh, also, our my poor Shayla, my poor Shayla. Ava's a little bit more broke than she thought she was, and it's just like this is gonna cause even more issues for you because it's just like you need to sell some of these things off. You need to sell some of these things off. It is not Alexis's fault why the money was taken back, and she can't give you the money because the money belongs to Ace. She can't give you the money, or she's going to be removed as executor, and then somebody like Heather will get put in place, and y'all don't want that. So be so for real right now. Be so for real. Ava, you need to figure out how to get your money up. And this is not an Avery thing, this is an Ava thing because Sunny is always going to provide for Avery. Ava, you need to figure out how to work this out on your own. Now, Tracy was so happy to go over there and rub in Drew's face that, hey, I got your lawyer arrested. What are you going to do about it? And he is consistently telling her, you need to have those people move. Nobody gives a fuck about those people. Nobody care. They don't care where their final resting place is. And Willow's stupid ass is, jumping for joy to defend Drew against Tracy. And, oh, well, if he needs to move them, then so be it. And it's just like, y'all are horrible human beings. You don't go unearth people in their final resting places. But hey, if you want them spirits to be haunting y'all and causing all types of discourse in y'all life, go ahead and do it. Y'all go ahead and do it. But the fact that y'all are going to do this and both of them dummies claim to care about Monica, so somebody has to explain to Monica that Drew is okay with digging up not only his father, but his brother and his, well, no, because it's like he don't really see them as family anyway. So explain to Monica that you are okay with digging up her father-in-law, mother-in-law, husband, son, both of her daughters, and a slew of other family members because you weren't accepted as a Quartermain. Because instead of owning up to what you were doing and taking your punishment, like all the Quartermains have to end up taking at some point in time when they screw up, you have decided that you want to destroy all of them because you weren't accepted. He annoys me. He irks my spirit. Get him out of my face. Get him out of my face. So, Tracy, going about her business, but she basically told him if this is a game of wits, you want to go a battle of wills, if you want to do any of these things, you trying to outsmart me, you never will. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life because my money is longer than yours. My connections run deeper than yours. I'm going to make sure to destroy you. And I believe her. I believe her. Now, we get down to the pier. Brennan got Valentina at gunpoint. Anna and Jason show up. Anna and Jason are having a little spat back and forth. And before, Brennan can, clack that thing back and do it a rat-a-tat-tat, they pop up like, what you doing? What you doing? Don't do it. So he tells Anna, I don't trust you. Call the PCPD, have him arrested. He gets arrested. And Jason basically is reading Brennan the Riot Act when it comes to Carly. Now, they did get the cure and Carly is safe. But he reading him the Riot Act, questioning what you do to Carly. Just running it all down. Like, dragging him for filth. And it's just like, Jason! That's right. Support your best friend. Love your best friend. And remind her that I told you to stay away from that man. And speaking of Carly, like I said, all roads lead back to her being in the hospital. People that came down there to see her. People that came down there to question her. All of this is happening. So Felicia comes to see Carly and they have a heart-to-heart about Bobby and what Bobby would have told Carly to do when it comes to Brennan. And Felicia is basically like, stay away from that man. And unfortunately, it does not matter how old Carly gets. If you tell her to stay away from somebody, she's going to double down in the situation. So she has to just learn from, she got to learn. She got to learn from, experience. And she got to learn from experience. It's really, you can't really tell Carly what to do. She gonna have to learn for herself. Elizabeth and Lucky gonna start a relationship. That's all I got to say about that. Good for them. I hope it works out this time. I hope they get to get married and nobody cheats and the addiction issues don't come come in and cause an issue. I love that for them. Unfortunately, when it comes to this house situation, Willow's stupid ass turned down Nina's offer. And it's just like, oh, you setting up for the worst custody battle to ever happen when Michael gets a new face and comes back. That's exactly what you were doing. That's exactly what you were doing. You were trying to replace these children's father. And they warned you. Everybody has warned you. You don't want to get into this fight. And oh, this fight is going to get nasty. So do you know what Nina decided to do? She broke into his house and broke into the safe. Well, she didn't really break into the safe. She had the code because she was over there when it was a situation with Maxie and was getting the house and decorating it, the Donna Day house. But I digress. She's getting dirt on that man because what you won't do, what you don't, what you won't, and what you don't do is fool with her daughter, especially when you holding the fact that y'all was sleeping together and that she sent you after Willow in the first place. So this whole big press conference. Portia done convinced Drew to go. Not Drew. Portia has convinced Curtis to go after Curtis ran that smear campaign against Drew. Why? Because Drew is holding evidence over Portia's head, and everybody gotta play nice because Drew is this and Drew is that, and it's just like, no, I wouldn't. I would let it. I would air it. I would air myself out. I spill my own tea before I let anybody hold it against me and blackmail me to do whatever they wanted. Drew is trying to recruit Kai to be, no, to get into politics. And Curtis has to warn Kai about Drew. It's like, please, for the love of God, don't side with that man. He is the devil incarnate. And Portia continues to play nice because she doesn't want her life to be blown up. And it's just like, all you have to do is tell your people the truth. But she doing all this. She got his medical file on her desk because she might end up trying to take that man out. That's crazy. That's crazy. Trina's telling Kai, maybe you got a future in politics. Then we got this new congressman, named Ezra, and he's making his presence known to everybody. And Ezra is an old, soap opera faithful Daniel Cosgrove. He's been almost everywhere on the soaps. So, hey, new congressman, I wonder if he's better or worse than Drufus. Huh. I wonder. I wonder as I wonder. Now, Alexis refused to give Ava a loan from the Casanine estate because why would she? She can't loan you any money from the estate. The estate belongs to Ace. Laura is his guardian. Laura has also refused to give you money. Why would they? You know what, Ava? I love you. Dearly. I've called you out on some things because I refuse to allow people to go through life without, being responsible for certain situations. But Ava, you got to be so for real. Why would you go to Alexis for a loan? You better off asking Christina for some money. You better off asking Christina for money. So Valentine, in the last ditch effort, tells / gives Jason a little information on Brennan. And it's just like, okay, so we're going to figure out how this is going to work. We're going to have to figure out how this is going to work because this is messy as hell. Okay. Wait, okay. Child, okay. So we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. Okay. Well, he gave him the information and the information prompts. And I forgot what it was. I forgot. I'd probably talk about it when the new week starts. But the information that was given is like, okay, Jason's like, Carly, let me tell you something. Carly, girl, love you. Let me tell you something. You gonna stay away from that man. You gonna stay away from that man. Okay? Never liked him, never trusted him. You gonna stay away from that man. And it's just like, ooh, this is messy as hell. But you know what? Some things got to give. And with that being said, that was a quick little recap, quick little review of Dim Soaps, a little catch up. Basically, what we missed. At the end of the day gotta end. Before the day gotta end, GH is always gonna be messy as hell. Drew is always gonna get on my nerves. Willow is forever gonna be dumb. Nina just needs to tell the damn truth. And y'all need to watch out for Portia because at this point in time, I think Portia is willing to rat-a-tat-tat that man to get from up under his, blackmail. And Ava, you better off getting a loan from Christina, because if you thought she was gonna go to Alexis to get a loan, girl, call Linden Tree Mortgage, get a call Linden. Listen, you call whatever mortgage company, get a loan, and move on about your life, because you better off asking Carly for some money. But with that being said, that was it. That was all on How More to Give y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all liked it. With that being said, I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.